Hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
We are reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville episode 13 and 14. Sorry we didn't do 13 last week. So we just gonna talk about it a little bit and then get to 14. But yeah.
Where the money reside, These episodes.
Yeah, this show is kind of turned up.
It is. It's getting there.
Oh my God, it's turned up. And Marcel is my favorite.
Marcel is actually...
He is hilarious.
He is more funny than... You have no idea. He has more funny these last few episodes than he's ever been in the past. Like, it came across way different before. Now, I feel like we can see his real personality.
Marcel is nuts.
I
love him.
Okay, I really have a feelings about him and Latisha, so I want to talk about that later.
So for episode 13, I guess we're just going to talk about the big stuff since we did miss it.
Yeah.
The main thing, so a couple of little things happened, but one of the main things was Martell and Melody meeting in the office to discuss their business.
Yeah.
So Martell was like, "Oh, we want this to be positive." Meanwhile, he's the one making it negative.
It's just he always does that.
He doesn't take accountability for anything.
No.
He was trying to have control over the room, but Melody walked in like, "Oh, I'm good. What we talking about?"
Melody is because he's so much more emotionally invested.
Yeah,
he is the one that gets that the switch flips immediately. Yeah. Like he thinks that he's in control and he loses control
so fast
quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
And I didn't realize. Well, we did learn this episode that she had left a couple of times. So this was her.
Yeah,
like,
we knew she left. Before.
Oh, okay. I hadn't watched most of the first season, but she's done. When a woman is fed up. Like, she had mentally left that relationship, and then when she left, she was done. Of course, she's still mourning that relationship. She still loves him.
There's still, her feelings.
But this man was clearly he's shocked that he's still in shock that she actually left.
He's really shocked that it has gone this far.
It's crazy, man. Y'all. This man is nuts.
So when they're in there talking, every time she's like, okay, we'll dissolve it. Like, he basically told her, so it sounded like they had a agreement about that she was her Embrace Beauty business was gonna be left to her, he was gonna take a small percentage, and he's like, well, I helped you build it and it was my money and now I want 50%. She's like, we'll have no business then. Yeah,
I'll dissolve it. We'll talk to attorneys. She was like, it's not their decision.
Yeah.
You gonna run this business? Then no, it's gonna be dissolved.
I'm not gonna run it anymore. You can have 50% of nothing. Yeah. But I'm not gonna. She literally can create a new business.
Yep.
And I'm not mad. That's how you know, because she's not hanging on. She's not trying. Everything he does is to try to pull her in. Yep. Everything she does is to try to push away.
Yeah.
Period. So I mean, there was a lot more back and forth there, but the bottom line is it's like he uses every opportunity to try to prove that she still cares. Like, he wants to pull her in so that he can break her, so that he can feel better and somehow feel like he can still get into her and save her, or, they can connect emotionally.
True. And when she started crying, I did kind of feel bad. I was like, she probably is really thinking of all this other stuff, like how mad he's making her, and started crying. But he loved it. He was probably loving that she got emotional.
Yeah.
And who knows why she was crying, but he was loving it. I know he was, because he's like, oh, this is what I want. Then he tried to trying to be all nice about it, and it's like, Martell, leave that lady alone. You have ruined her life with your cheating, and now accusations of her cheating. And
it's very hard to deal with him, because it continues on in episode 14.
Yeah, he's a fool.
So we can't, like, the main things that happened, and there was a lot of other stuff, but the main event was the second half of the episode at the party that Kimmy and Maurice threw for her son Jalen.
Yep.
The party.
Yep.
I mean, it was a scene concocted to create drama, and that's exactly what it did.
And it was, because I was like, oh, your work friends or your investment friends. It's like, no, these are the own folks.
It's the show.
It's the show. Said, we'll pay for a little something at a restaurant.
Let's have a scene.
They don't know that boy like that.
No, I mean, Marcel and Kimmy maybe,
and then Marcel and Melody probably do know him for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
but he was off at college for 4 of them, and then you would just invite him to the small thing.
But Destiny was there, which is fine. I actually like her on the show.
I didn't like her when I was binging the first part of the season.
I didn't either, and now these episodes I like her.
Yeah, she alright. She stirred drama too.
They have to have somebody to stir drama.
I know.
These people don't bring it up out of nowhere. The producers are telling them to say something. even still, I think we need to acknowledge that. Anytime there is some serious drama, it's because the producers have caused it. Now, I do think that real emotions get involved because we are at an event that, like we said, we knew it was for the show,
but it still was for.
But it was still for Kimmy, Jalen, celebrating them. And Martell is gonna go anywhere that Mel is gonna be. So he was rushing to get there and rushing to be around her. And as soon as he got there, she was like, all right, deuces.
Yeah, she was ready to go. She's like, hurry up with this speech.
Yeah, she really is not here for him.
Nope. And that's how I would handle it too. Like, I'm going to record, I'm going to get my check, but I'm coming early or on time.
And then Latisha invited her mom, knowing that her mom and Kimmy have a little something is a lot.
And if her mom hadn't acted out, it would, and Latisha didn't get mad about that greeting, it wouldn't have been that deep. But you starting stuff, Latisha talking about something, oh, why you say that? That's rude.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
And it wasn't rude.
She was just like, oh, hey, look who's here.
And then she's like, is it a problem? She's like, no, it's cool. Like, she said something a little bit, you know, Kimmy be saying her little smart stuff, which I like.
Yeah.
But then she was like, but it's cool. I know you wasn't invited, but it's cool. Yeah. Like, they had that type of relationship online.
They do.
You making
Latisha
a big deal
makes
out of it.
Worse than what it is.
You should have said that off camera or should have said it to the side. Like, girl, why you do that on camera?
The reason why it sucks is because they have a real relationship in real life. Latisha and Kimmy. So it's like they're doing stuff for the camera, but that's gonna really affect their relationship, like in real life. Yeah. And that's where people are messing up. Like this is y'all. This is some money.
But
y'all are doing this for money.
And all of Kimmy's not all the teachers' insecurities are coming out.
They always do. If you have seen this, like she is anyway. So. The craziest part of the scene was obviously when Mel got up to leave. Wanda followed her to talk to her. Wanda has talked so much shit about Mel. She has talked so much stuff about Mel.
I was trying to Google what they were talking about with the kids.
So clearly, it sounds like Wanda was on her Instagram live and talking about the kids. But Martell is so extra. Because he ran up on that lady.
She old too.
He ran up on somebody that's his mama's age.
She said, like, what you gonna jump me? What you gonna do? Like, you
what are you doing? What exactly?
Legitimately was acting like a bitch.
Like and he was acting like she was a man. Like, what were you gonna do? So she's talking to Mel, and I feel like Mel was like, okay, thank you. Okay. Mel was
Mel
not
don't want to fool with them either.
Fooling with it
Especially
either.
Not Wanda.
Mel ain't fooling with Wanda probably for the same reason that Martell is not fooling with Wanda.
Yeah.
And Mel doesn't like Latisha that much. So Mel wasn't being fake. She was just walking and listening because it's the respectful thing to do. Yeah. And then Martell comes storming up and just really incites something that's unnecessary
at this boy party. I just think like he just wanted to be around Melody.
He did, and he wanted to somehow like Kate and like be involved, and then it was a problem.
Oh, she can do. You go find a man, and if she can do better, it's like number one, she's not her. She literally can do better, Martell. You are
trash.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is very confusing. Yeah. And then you wanted to bring that time up to talk about what she said about the kids, which maybe it was crazy and somebody.
But you don't have to wait to see somebody to confront them about children. My kids, you could have said something at any point. You over here running up. I was gonna say you up here running up to Marceau and Tisha trying to rekindle a friendship and there. You never said nothing. But then you are like you gotta say something about the mom-in-law. But so that scene obviously boiled into episode 14. Yep. So there we are, episode 14, at the, with the, recapping what happened. And Wanda comes back over to the table. Destiny is like the peacekeeper, which actually it worked. But she got in the car and left with Mel, which was odd. She absolutely left her purse, which for reality's sake, it just felt off. Like you literally have nothing in your hands and you walked away. Yeah, and you walked away because you knew somebody would get your stuff and you knew that you guys were just going to go an hour away or 2 hours away. I mean, you were going to go somewhere a few minutes away for an hour or two and come back and get your stuff. So that kind of just felt fake. Yeah. Honestly, like very for TV.
I wonder how long she's going to be able to be in the middle of Martell and Melody.
She's going to choose Melody anyway.
I know, even though she knew Martell.
Martell is choosing to put her in the middle.
Yeah.
Martell, all these scenes, Martell is approaching her. Yeah. Martell is putting himself in a position to talk to her. So the way that the scene ended with Wanda and Latisha at the table, going back and forth, like, Wanda don't listen to Latisha. So Latisha has to understand that she is responsible for that. Because you can't even stop her.
That's why you can't invite her. Nowhere.
That's why you can't bring her nowhere. Yeah. She literally is the epitome of I can't bring you nowhere.
But she's reality TV gold, and that's why she's on the call sheet. That's why Carlos keeps sending her ass to the places.
For sure. Absolutely.
And so it is some of that too. Like, goddamn well, I wouldn't invite my mama, but
you want me to, and Mel and Martell gonna be there, and that's all her mama do is talk about them. Mm-hmm. So they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew they was doing too.
But
Kimmy is still not with it. Kimmy still ain't with it. Mm-hmm. So she called her out. She called a spade a spade. Mm-hmm. The problem with Kimmy is that she legitimately is very good at keeping a cool head and reading you at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so she's just like, okay, well, I'm going to leave. Like, she literally got up to leave while Latisha, Marcel, and Wanda were still at the table. So the next scene that happened was Marcel and Kimmy having lunch.
Okay, whose chicken restaurant was that?
I actually thought it was Destiny and her husband because I thought they were going to be funny about the fact that Kimmy last season was just like, I only know them for chicken. So I thought they had her showing up to the chicken restaurant.
He had on a hat. I don't know if you noticed. Yeah. I was like, this got to be somebody.
Yeah, like, so it might have been the chicken. I just couldn't remember. We probably should edit it and put something in there. Because I think it is. We should have Googled. But, so the only thing I felt about that, and obviously it's clear that in the future scenes that it became an issue because you're talking to Marcel about me from Latisha's standpoint. But I just felt like Latisha should have been there. Not because Marcel and Kimmy can't have a conversation separately. Mm-hmm. I think that that they're brother-in-law and sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. Like, they absolutely can. What I do think is that conversation wasn't anything that could be cleared up without Latisha there. So why are y'all talking about Wanda without Latisha there? Latisha needs to take responsibility, first of all.
That was clearly Marcel or production just trying to have an extra scene.
A scene. It was a scene. But it created drama. Yeah. And it created drama, and it was like, why? I just felt like it was messy. But it didn't solve anything. On the confessional,
he was trying to act like, oh, let me go clear up my mother-in-law with her because it was a mess. But he didn't. He was kind of like,
he is such an instigator.
Yeah, he was like,
he's such an instigator.
That's Wanda's mouth. You can't do that. And she was like, that's fine. This is why she wasn't necessarily
And that's the thing is that Kimmy is always like, okay, but there's responsibility. There's consequences to your actions. Period. That's the only vibe that Kimmy is on.
You cannot control Wanda. Wanda is like Mama D. From Love and Hip Hop. You cannot control them. So you cannot have them in certain settings.
Or like from Love and Hip Hop LA. The mamas A1 and Lyrica's mamas. Yeah. They're literally like cut from the same cloth where they gonna talk and you not gonna stop them.
Yeah. And that's
it. Like they come hot, they come ready to play.
And then the one that brought up the word sanction. He was like, "You're gonna ban her?" Then he said, "Oh, you're just gonna sanction her." Like, and then she said, and she still never said no. She said, "Well, like you brought up the word sanction."
He's so messy. He was like, "No, she said it." So that scene happened, and I was just like, "This is for TV."
Yeah.
It's for TV, but the one thing that happened this episode, and you alluded to, is that Marcel is funny as hell.
Yeah, Marcel too.
He has a great sense of humor.
Yes.
And the saddest thing is that Latisha
it be going over her head. Yeah.
Can't get it. She does not get it. Her intellect is just not.
You think it is an intellect thing and not just a speech thing?
Oh, it's not speech. It's intellect. Like, she literally isn't quick enough. Like, she doesn't pick up on stuff.
Okay.
So
Martell and
Destiny. I mean, he rolling up just to have a scene. Another time.
He hopefully he don't piss Destiny off because that's most of his scenes.
That's his
end. At this point.
It is.
Not even her husband, him.
But here's the I don't even want to say crazy thing. Here was the enlightening thing. Destiny was actually speaking sense. She was calling him out. And she was like, well, what? Well, tell me. And he couldn't. He's literally
he can't communicate well.
Talking to talk.
He cannot communicate. When he was talking to his wife in that meeting, you have nothing. He's not that quick either.
He's not that quick either.
He has nothing to say. She was like, what's my wife duties as a wife? What are your expectations? You the man. Tell me.
What
you'll see. See what?
I have a marriage, and we might communicate about it, but you're talking about it. You brought it up.
Yeah, what do you think a wife should do?
It was a mess, and she just called him.
He was fluffing over his words.
He was like, okay, well, you'll find out. I hate when people discount the experience that I have just because I haven't been married for 10 years. I'm still an adult. I still know how to make decisions.
Just don't say that out loud. If you don't want to take my opinion because I have only been married for 1 year, or you think it in your head like, okay, she don't have that much.
She hasn't been here yet. Been there, done it.
Call it. Don't say it out loud. Don't you come to me.
You don't have to insult me.
But you coming to me basically for advice or to
talk
confide in
listen,
me and to talk to me about stuff. And then you gonna tell me basically, oh, you don't understand.
You haven't been there yet. So you'll figure it out.
Go and talk to somebody else.
Right.
Like you came to my place of business to harass me about this shit. And you gonna tell me only been married for a year? I mean, she has only been married for a year.
Yeah.
That's not she hopes she don't see this shit.
Yeah, she don't want to deal with this.
Like, I hope I don't see this custody battle with 4 kids and all that. Like, I hope. I don't care if we're dealing with other stuff. I hope. Like, don't tell me you'll see it. I hope not.
No, he's still unhinged. It's very clear. He cannot communicate.
Yes, he cannot. That's so funny. He is so insufferable. He needs to go to therapy. He needs healing. Like, he needs healing.
He was like tongue tied. Like, and he was embarrassed almost. Yes. He was just like, I don't, you'll figure it out.
You can't communicate. And that's what Destiny said. Y'all, a lot of men cannot communicate, but then y'all have these expectations.
But don't communicate them to anybody.
And she said that out loud, and he couldn't
communicate.
I was like, Destiny, you right about that.
She not wrong.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. Then we hit Marcel and Latisha at the house.
So they talking about the meetup. And
that's when his sense of humor. I was like, I mean, it was actually not a bad scene. It showed how Latisha is just clueless. Like, she really won't accept her responsibility and stuff until it gets to a point where she has to be crying and stuff. Yeah. Like, you and your husband are sitting here having this conversation, and you could easily be like, no, I get it. And instead, you're just like fighting.
That's family.
Tooth and nail. Like,
the only thing I could think about that is maybe it is literally like, my mom was on the call sheet to be here. Like, don't blame, and she don't want to say that.
Don't blame.
That's the only thing I could see is her being like, damn well I didn't invite my mama.
Her. That's true.
They invited her to have some drama because everybody was going to be here. And
don't put that on me.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I was like, maybe she just don't want to say that, because I probably would have had to break the fourth wall and been like, she playing with me like.
She knows that producers
but maybe
want
she
her
did end up saying, who knows? Yeah. But if she can't say that, that's the only way I can see her being frustrated about that invite thing. Yeah. Is that please stop.
So.
But first, they were talking about the manor. What's it called? Not Moore Manor. Lord have mercy. Scott Manor. Scott Manor. And she was like, I want a mother's suite or in-law suite. So when my mom
could have a cottage
in the woods.
And I thought Laura and the little children. But what he was saying was based on a nursery tale.
Cracking up. I was cracking.
And I was like, he is joking, stupid. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, literally, I feel so bad because the only words that come to mind are like, you dummy. Like, dumb and stupid. Like,
she just used to him and just like, don't
No. She was like, what? I don't want my mom in a cottage. Like, what? He didn't mean that. Like,
even though she do need to have a separate space. Don't have no shit attached to our house. She can have the pool
like,
house in the back.
She literally could have been like, I'm not putting my mama in a separate house. Get over it. And keep it pushing. Like, you think you funny, Martell. You ain't funny. Like, she doesn't, I mean, not Marcel. But she just never acknowledges the fact that he's being funny. It's like she feeds into it and actually responds to what he's saying. Like, girl, he's kidding. He's playing.
That is funny.
He's joking.
I was like...
I still need to know what they get out of each other. What he gets out of her.
I don't know. I don't get that relationship.
I don't get it at all.
Out of all three of them, that's the one I don't get. She seemed like she is stuck at like a 20-year-old mindset. Even when it comes to she kept saying like, people were telling me that I need to look at Kimmy, and then when I really thought about it, it's like people were your mom. People were your mom was probably like, oh, she's not being loyal, because it's just like a mindset that's just like dumb. Like,
it's a very
I'm loyal to you, but these are people I know. I'm gonna come to stuff. We're gonna come to stuff, and we're taping a show.
It's a very unintelligent. It's just it comes from a place of like
so childish. Like, she gotta grow the
unworldly. Like, she just doesn't have this like experience, or she doesn't draw on experience. I don't know.
What's wrong with Tisha, y'all? No. And I was liking Tisha a little bit when I first was watching, and then her immaturity and her insecurities. She need to see about that. She need to go to therapy.
Yeah, she
does.
Need
to see about that. And her mom, and you can tell her mom is insecure too, but her mother is just more boisterous and more like, I don't care.
But then the problem is they aren't.
Kimmy ain't playing.
Kimmy literally walks circles around her, runs circles around her every time, because every time they have a discussion about something, because Kimmy is just very articulate, logical. Like, and she's not emotional. Like, even, or I shouldn't say that, but her emotions don't get the best of her when she's talking about things. And she's just very... And that
can come off a little condescending sometimes. Because
it does.
You know,
it does.
I'm always on her side. Well, these past few arguments, I'm always on her side. But sometimes it do come off like...
flippant, like dismissive.
Yeah, just a little dismissive.
The place where I thought Kimmy was dismissive was with Destiny. Like her and this chicken thing, and this like it's like weird that they come back to that, but that's
Kimmy kept throwing them jabs.
Kimmy will not stop, and that was the one time where I was like, Kimmy, you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're very smart. Like you're very intelligent. You know what you're doing. When it comes to Latisha, I feel like she gets fed. I feel like she tries the first time, and then when Kimmy is slow and doesn't get it. I mean, shoot.
When
Tisha's slow, Kimmy just be like, okay, I don't care. She shuts down.
And I don't think she's trying to disrespect her on TV or in general.
I think she's just really trying to not talk about it anymore.
Yep.
So, from that, Latisha, okay, Marsau gives good advice too. Like Latisha's dense. Like she's dense. Like she
said the same thing. You gonna throw away this relationship? What? She don't want your mom who's out of control at certain things?
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So he gives good advice. I just think that she gets very sensitive about it.
And then she said their relationship was toxic, and it's like, no, your mom's toxic.
Yeah.
Y'all relationship is actually not toxic. You have some insecurities with the relationship. You feel a way about her still being cool with Melody and stuff like that. That's not toxic. That's insecurities, and that's fine. Yeah. Your mother is toxic.
Very.
So don't be throwing around, this relationship is toxic. Y'all don't have, you and Kimmy don't have no toxic relationship. Please stop.
At all.
Y'all had a healthy relationship probably until you got on the show and your insecurities really started coming out because y'all got to share.
Because now you have to
it's
share.
It's not just family and we keep keying and watching each other's kids.
And people have opinions on it. And you read and see people's opinions on it and it makes you feel okay.
Right. Because And anyways, I was cracking up. The last thing that Marsau said was like, you like how I gave advice on that? And she was like, yeah. He was like, you think it's worth sex? I said, like, men are the worst. Yeah, and that's how they be thinking.
That is.
Like, oh, I did this today. Look, I watched my kids. Can I have sex?
Oh my God. Speaking of which, hilarious.
Yes. He is so,
oh my God. So we got her yet.
Okay, so Melody. Okay, the next scene was Melody and her brother. I forget his name.
I can't think of it right now either. But he, I mean, it was a quick scene, and really the point was to hype him up so that he would go and confront Marsau as the thing. That was the sole purpose of that scene. Yeah, they had to give context to why he was about to run up on Martell.
And that's because he called his.
Because he sounds
he was gay, or he was gay in a negative light.
Oh, the next scene was the podcast.
Yeah, that was one of the main. That was really.
That was the main scene. Yeah, that was
the main scene. Yeah, of the thing.
Yeah, and in that scene, that's where it quickly rolled into the whole "you're sanctioning my mom from events," and I don't even know if Latisha knows what sanction means because sanction is like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
sanction doesn't mean that you anyway. And that's Marsau using that word. I just feel like
that shit was funny.
So
it's a sanction. It's
right, because a bar, you being barred is one thing. You being sanctioned is kind of like you're on notice.
And she was using it kind of
and
correctly.
She doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
So there goes that. And then Destiny is the one that brought up.
She stirred the pot.
And
that's what whatchamacallit said.
But who knows if that was on purpose or not. But either way, the conversation happened. Was it going to be on the Mommy podcast? No, they're sitting there in a recording studio.
I was hoping it was going to be after, like they really said,
and
like they was going to walk out.
They're sitting there. Just because it's recording or not recording doesn't mean it's going to be aired. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is edited. So that was like, okay, they're sitting there. They're in the same place. They're talking about it. And when they talked about it, I thought it was fair. Like Like, Latisha just doesn't get past her point in the moment.
Nope.
It always takes her going back, talking about it, thinking about it, getting sad about it, and then realizing, like, okay, I guess she didn't mean it the way I thought she meant it. Like, it's just too much. Like, this girl has no capability of, like, responding in the moment and processing in the moment.
She's insecure and she gets so defensive.
Yeah. She doesn't process in the moment. Because everything that Kimmy said, she was just like, okay, well.
Yeah. And Destiny was sitting there like this. Talking about this is awkward. Yeah, lady, you made it awkward.
You started it.
And you sitting in the middle. So that's even more awkward.
Yes.
So
she's just, honestly, Latisha is ill-equipped to debate anybody on anything.
She is. And I hate how she says the words.
Even.
You're sanctioning my mom from all events. And it's like, oh, I hate that. I know people pronounce it like that. I ain't really never heard it. And she keeps saying it over and over and over. And it's pissing me off. The event.
The voting event. What's next?
The Halloween voting event.
The event.
Oh my God. And that's what Marcel had me dead.
Marcel has
I was literally laughing out loud at every one of his jokes. Yes. I was sitting there like, yo, Marcel crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad because I don't think Latisha even like benefits from it. I don't think she appreciates it. That's like,
when he was talking to Destiny and was like, Batwoman, and she was like, I'm a cat. He was like, cats don't have ears like that. And she was like, you stupid. And he was like, I think she's a bat that identifies as a cat. I was dead because I was like, this man is too funny. Like,
and then he was talking about being a dad. He was like, oh, you know, you gotta watch your kids
when your wife go out. He was like, we know you don't watch your kids. He was like, I'm trying this new thing called fatherhood.
He did.
You gotta watch your kids when your wife goes out. It's like, at least he making fun of the fact that he knows. All the guys know he's a trash.
He knows that he's
a trash dad, but he's a hands-off dad, which is trash. I hope he realizes that being like that does not benefit not good. There's so many people who have fathers in the house
that aren't
got daddy issues. Yeah, and that's problematic.
So that was cute. The guys were laughing at the event. The final,
here come the Pharaoh.
Hurrah!
The second Pharaoh.
The second Pharaoh.
Marcel once again said everybody a Pharaoh to a real Pharaoh walk in. And I was like, yes, Marcel, because he looked like a scheme and he looked like a real Pharaoh. Melody brother shitted on his costume and Marcel was like, everybody will be a Pharaoh to a real Pharaoh walk in. And I was
Marcel is crazy.
See, that's another thing. Marcel probably can't take Marcel because Marcel is way smarter than Marcel. And it's clear with the communication and everything. He be manipulating little stuff with Tisha and talking, circles around her. But he is very smart.
He is very smart.
That man is so funny.
He is. Yes. So the whole thing so Mel's brother came in hot and went straight for him. Like the whole purpose was to confront him, but he didn't confront him about what was said. He essentially just insulted him and insulted his fathering skills in order to get back at him. He just wanted to hurt him because he got hurt. Yeah. So that was very clear. It was a 30-second argument because they couldn't fight there, and Martell looked like he got really upset because Martell is emotionally unintelligent. He does not know how to effectively communicate. Yeah. So, and her brother is intelligent too, and he's a good communicator. Yeah. And he expressed himself. Boom.
When he said I'm about to beat your ass, his brother was like, you gonna walk away.
It was not ever gonna happen.
Yeah, because they would have been, I don't know who would have won, but just because Martell big don't mean he's
gonna,
and don't mean his brother been fighting all his life.
For real.
But you just never know.
You don't.
But I wouldn't have wanted to see them fight, of course.
No, I mean, they wouldn't have.
He was like, you gonna walk away with your bitch ass.
And
what happened? Marcel walked away. But you can run up on Miss Wanda, but you walked away from that grown man.
The bottom line is you talking big stuff.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop being all over people's face.
And when somebody else, it was a lot. I think that this season is actually very entertaining. It really is. Like, I mean, it sucks that it's drama with the family. Like, the whole Martell and Melody storyline is, disappointing and hurt. It sucks to watch, but
at least they getting a coin. Pay me for my pain.
Yeah. Hey.
So they gonna need the money. They separating and stuff. Divorce ain't cheap, especially in their case when they have a lot of assets.
Splitting stuff.
Look, give me my little coin. I'll let you take. They probably got a good contract. I'll let you take this divorce. Yeah. We need more money.
Yep. So, all right, y'all.
That's it.
So
us know what y'all thought, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. And this is the last day that y'all can enter our giveaway. So do that.
Get into the giveaway.
Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
All right. See you.
Bye.